and we already
actually
picked some
have
bans.
the picks and bans. The first 2 bans coming in there for ROCCAT, Lucian, and Aatrox, and Zed on the side of the Dolphins.
Aatrox? Okay, maybe. Okay, wait, is there like a Freddy 112 on that team? Where's the yeah, a lot of teams are, they see Zed as like a big priority because it's really hard to deal with Zed split push when you're not an organized team. So I think they're just going to try to take that off at the table. I think that's really smart on their part.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Zed here. Febiven being absolutely fantastic on that, and paired with that Corki, a very, very good plays coming out there. LeBlanc, another ban, we know it can be so lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Rio performed super good on LeBlanc, and just want to shut down the threat of LeBlanc snowballing out of control. It's a good ban in general, but yeah, we have to see how the picks and bans go, but because there will be a lot of open picks that should be banned right now, so we have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it looks like they're just getting rid of all the assassins. I mean, it's actually really hard to deal with assassin picks when you're not a coordinated team, and Jarvan's like he's probably the best jungler right now overall.
I agree. If they don't ban Lee Sin right now, it's probably a first pick Lee Sin from ROCCAT's part to make sure that they have this early game pressure and control in the jungle, and yeah, we just have to see what
doesn't Jankos, he's like mains like Lee Sin and Elise, right? And that is
he's very famous for his Elise. I mean, he's probably just fall back on Elise if everything is banned, and we just see how it goes. Okay, Azir banned, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Azir is very good right now. If you can play him properly, he's probably one of the strongest champions in the game. Insane late game potential. And there we go. First pick Irelia right now.
People have been just loving Irelia now. I don't know about first picking it. I mean, it has like a lot of decent matchups, but I don't know about blind picking it because it kind of sticks your team comp where you're like, you have an AD top. So I think what they're going to do with this is, since Jankos is going to go with the Elise, like they banned Jarvan away, he loves Elise, and Irelia pairs really nicely with that.
Yeah, see what they go in here for.
Lissandra and Gnar both are open still.
Yeah,
both
exactly.
Very super good picks.
We've seen some Jacks in the expansion tournament.
Yeah.
And Gnar open, of course.
Oh, I think Gnar is actually a pretty bad pick into Irelia.
Yeah, I agree. I think Irelia deals very well with Gnar, usually, because she has just a stun, and with jungle pressure, you can actually snowball this lane very highly into Irelia's favor. And the second Irelia has one item, she can actually just shut him down pretty much.
We'll see what they decide to go for here, hovering
Malphite.
over. Yep.
People have been using Malphite as a counter pick to Irelia because of the attack speed slow, but oh, we actually see it now pick, okay.
Well, it's not locked in yet, so let's see what they decide to go with. Against your advice, they might lock it in here, and they will.
I don't really like this because for 2 reasons. A, like you just pick 2 AD champions, so you limit yourself where you can't offer an AD mid laner, so you know you have to pick an AD mid laner. And then on top of that, you just counterpicked yourself with Gnar into Irelia. And then Gnar's like, you don't really want to 2v1 that much with him either because he's supposed to be a lane bully, so don't really like the picks they went with here.
Seeing the Rengar toggled over, so having nightmares of seeing Impaler perform so good on that champion. Slight changes coming in. I don't think it's going to be an Ashe, and that Elise, as we talked about for Jankos, maybe.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing. If you want to pick Elise, you'll lock in like an 80 top laner where you just have Gnar or Irelia, and that's why they insta-lock the Irelia in this situation.
So yeah, Jankos always falling back on the Elise when his comfort picks doesn't, like he always falls back on Elise. He knows he can perform on that champion, no matter how bad Elise might be, he still likes the champion a lot. And we have a Corki lock in too. I think Corki is probably like the strongest AD on this patch, just because of his power spike. The second he gets his first item, and usually in lane swaps he's very good because you just send him in a one-on-one lane and he gets all the experience, and with the level advantage and having level 11 and the Triforce, they can actually just group up and make sure that they use the power spike of Corki's missile damage combined with auto attacks on the tower to have some really good siege potential. And especially with like Elise, Cocoons, always good to have in the siege potential. So they have like very good lane swap already, I think. So
yeah, Karma and Ezreal locked in for the Dolphins.
Karma and Ezreal, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's like a weird double poke lane, but I don't really like if you get behind it all with that lane, like the game is just completely over.
Might be mid Saint.
Oh, that's true. People have been playing a lot of Ezreal mid, but then you're going to have a really AD heavy team comp, and all they have to do is stack the armor.
Come on, we never know, we never know.
Yeah, one good thing about the Corki pick is also Corki does a lot of magic damage, so it opens you up to where you can play actually the double AD comp with Jayce mid and Irelia top. So they have enough magic damage with that. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick something like Morgana that does a little bit of magic damage as well. Or even Braum does a decent amount of magic damage too, so. And it's a tank for your team comp.
If they really lock in that Jayce, I really like their team comp because they have great mixed damage right now. Corki and Elise both providing magic damage. It's very hard to itemize against such a team, especially if like we have Corki and have like an AD heavy solo lanes. So you don't know what to prioritize for because you have to actually stack armor and magic resist. And especially if the poke is coming in early in the game when we see Jayce and Corki hitting that power spike.
So seeing the Nami locked in here, we're actually discussing it before how she's fallen out of grace, and Saint actually had to say, well, I don't understand why do we pick her anymore right now.
Well, actually, I think she's good into Karma because she provides sustain against the poke. And they have like a double poke lane if the Ezreal is in the bot lane. And also it gives you really good disengage because they have like this kind of pseudo poke comp where they have Corki shooting rockets and Jayce shooting his shock blast, and then Elise can also like shoot cocoon. So they have this kind of poke, kind of slightly disengaged catch comp, which I think is going to be really good in the mid game.
So it will be Karma's support if they stay on this pick, or Xerath support. Can't rule anything out.
Oh, I'd love to see Xerath support. I don't
really
think that's going to happen this game.
And of course, Creaton special in Ezreal. He absolutely loves that champion, and now, of course, he's heavily back in favor.
I mean, after 1 month of not playing, I wouldn't have expected anything less than him playing Ezreal. Even when Ezreal is like complete, like not even viable, it's his pick, you know? He just makes it work with weird item builds, and he really likes that pick a lot. Like, it's by far his best and favorite champion, so he can actually like make something work. If he gets the tiny lead, he's a very aggressive player, and he's not afraid to just E in and flash forward and make those pick happening. But yeah, we see the Xerath lock in here right now.
In the
yeah, Dolphins have like a really heavy poke comp, but then they don't really have any way of disengaging. Whereas ROCCAT, you see, they have like a heavy poke comp, but they actually have a way of disengaging. So I'm gonna have to go with ROCCAT's team comp in this.
Yeah, I think it's just overall more complete.
Stronger lanes too.
Stronger lanes, stronger poke, stronger scaling.
Yeah, I'd say pretty comparable scaling.
Yeah, I mean, Pantheon versus Elise is kind of even, I think. Both fall off a bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I would give it to ROCCAT, yeah. I think Corki is just providing that little extra.
ROCCAT definitely coming out with a strong draft here. We'll be back in 90 seconds as the players load into the game. Don't go anywhere. Game starting in 90 seconds.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. I'm joined by Mr. Deficio, or Martin Deficio Lunge, if I can butcher his name for one last time.
Every single time,
Mitch
man.
Krepo Vorspus.
I'm not a bratwurst, mate.
Alongside me. And of course, we're going to be getting into the match in a moment. It is going to be ROCCAT facing off against the Dolphins. Dolphins of Wall Street. I mean,
it's a great name.
It's like when
Unicorns
of Love came about, and then it's like, oh, could it be topped? Dolphins of Wall Street, I think, may have topped it.
Pretty cool name. I agree. And again, your jungler is called Lazagna. He's the four-nation champion as well. I mean, we're going to see a lot of cheese. I promise you.
Yeah, okay. Let's go through that lineup. You can see Dolphins of Wall Street. It is going to be Meziljie. We're going to stick with Meziljie. Lazagna in the jungle. Bebe in that mid lane as it chased away. Creaton as the AD carry, and Masterwork as the support. And of course for ROCCAT, a lot of lineup shuffling going on. Overpow, now the top laner. Xerath, of course, who was playing for and Faculty, is now out of the LCS, sadly. Jankos in the jungle, the man that got the most first bloods, I think, out of all of the LCS, actually, if I remember rightly, North America and Europe. Ryu in that mid lane. Everybody will know this man. If you don't, go Google Faker versus Ryu ZZ. Crazy, crazy duel. Epic stuff. He's also the only man here that is the Intel Extreme Masters World Champion. He won it with KT Bullets back in March. And of course, Woolite on AD carry, the new man replacing Selavar, and alongside him is Vander.
And this ROCCAT lineup here, we were just talking before we went live, how there's storylines for every single member. How is Overpow going to do in the top lane? They've replaced Xerath, moving up there. He didn't have the best performance in the mid lane. He was super passive. But suddenly they're saying in like the Reddit AMA now he's super aggressive. His TP ganks are perfect. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do. And also, of course, the synergy with Rio in this mid lane, because he doesn't speak any Polish or English.
A lot of pinging and a lot of pointing.
Should be a lot of pinging.
Yeah. We're seeing a very solo queue-esque start here. Like, I haven't been scrimming at all anymore, so I've just been indulging in the sweet, sweet taste of solo queue. And this is what happens every game. So maybe Dolphins actually have a decent start here. There's no cheese, there's no lane swap. It's full-on standard. And yeah, this is what they need, I think, to have any shot in this game.
Yeah, both bottom lanes doing a camp here. Let's see if they actually give the XP over to the carry on the side. ROCCAT. Vander is stepping away from it, so they might want to give it over or just share it.
I really think sharing is way better.
Did as well here with the Nami pick. You want to get that level 2 on Nami.
Yeah,
Karma, we're going to see the poke.
Yeah, both sharing it. That means if they get into lane here, one creep will be dead. I think on each side. If they actually, Dolphins got really lucky. They did the grump really quick and they got all the creeps, so they might actually level up. I think they level up on this creep right here. Yep, they're level 2 and they're going in for a trade.
Going straight in. Creaton got caught with the bubble mid-arcane shift. That's a little unlucky. That would have slowed things down. It may well have got Woolite if that wasn't the case.
A lot of poke early on here. I mean, you need that Nami here. You need the heal to come in, and you can't really trade with the Karma early on, so you have to rely now on your AD carry, basically dodging around the Karma early, and this is just a super bad start for ROCCAT. And one of the reasons some AD carries really like Ezreal is because you have so much damage at level 1 to take down this Grump very fast, get down to the lane, and get the early level 2.
No, I really like this lane, especially purple side. Grump dies a little quicker than Golem, so it allows you to get into the lane just in time. You saw that creep barely died in range, and that means they hit a full melee creep of range of XP more, which means a melee creep to level up. If you miss that, you need 2 range creeps, and that would make the world difference. And they exploited that really well. So good laning here so far from the Dolphins.
Glad I've got 2 supports alongside me to entertain exactly what is going on down that bottom lane. Of course, Dolphins of Wall Street coming into this one as rank outsiders. ROCCAT, some consider honestly the favorites for this entire tournament, so literally will be coming into this with nothing to lose, nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then you see Creaton coming in, like we did talk about the fact that he's been playing Counter-Strike non-stop. He's not been playing League of Legends much, but when he comes in with that mentality, he's just like, fine, I'll just play reckless and crazy.
Yeah, zero
pressure.
pressure.
Encourage people out, because sometimes as a pro, you're expecting a pro to react like a pro. But if he reacts like just some crazy random dude from solo queue, just like, what is he doing? Why would he ever do this? And he catches you out sometimes.
Exactly, and I mean, Creaton at the moment, after Millennium disbanded their League of Legends lineup, he's a free agent. This is a chance for him to show what he can do even without practicing League of Legends for a month, and see if any teams would be interested in picking him up if he performs well.
I really liked that little move from Jankos there. He was done with his jungle. Instead of going for another camp, he basically did like a little invade to see if he can spot Pantheon. If you can track Pantheon in the jungler and you don't get surprised by an early gank, if he doesn't get a kill before 6, he's gonna suffer into the mid game really hard.
And I want to see up in this top lane here if Overpow is actually gonna max E and Irelia. We saw it doing worlds a lot, but we have then been seeing a lot of Aurelius just go for the standard max W here just for these short trades in or get a few auto attacks in the trades. But if you max your E and you have a guy like Jankos who can gank for you, you can set up these easy ganks on a Gnar, even lock him down before he gets a chance to jump away and just kill him.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate upstairs actually. I know Zion Spartan and co, which is what St. Vicious just alluded to on the analyst desk, talking about this matchup, because it was perceived that actually Gnar was stronger, but now a lot of people think Irelia actually is a lot stronger. Once you hit that 6, once you get that ulti going, you can kind of out-duel Gnar.
Yeah, it's a big deal getting level 6, and especially just if you get that small lead. Once you have your Trinity Force, you become so strong on Irelia. Let's see what happens here. They're going for him.
Well, he flashed just at the right moment, just as that pounce came in from Lazagna, and they're turning it back around. You can see he's going to get the help of Jankos. The man that gets all the first bloods. Will they get it this time away? You can see he's going to continue chasing. His top lane has not followed him. Lazagna very low on this one. Now Messi is going to get stunned up as well. Jankos taking him down.
Another
he
one.
does get first blood once again. They get a 2-for-0, and ROCCAT in the lead.
And look at Overpow here. He is maxing his E, so he got 2 stuns off in this fight. He had long stuns, and then Jankos, he knew he could just jump, clean up, finish the Pantheon first, and then kill Gnar after.
Impressive acting from Overpow as well. Lazagna walked in on that ward and he didn't even flinch because he knew Jankos was close. All he had to do was stall enough time, dragged him. Yes, he had to burn his flash, but they chased him long enough that Jankos came in, landed the cocoon, and you could see that was a sign of a great jungler. He was 1v2, but he repelled in aggressively, and he knew, no, you guys don't have the damage to take me down. I will kill at least one of you. My team will come back me up and kill the second guy, and now ROCCAT is 2-0 in the lead.
And the acting is so important, so you don't want to give away that your jungler is coming. And actually, from watching the expansion tournament, we often saw when the jungler would go for the gank, then the mid lane or top lane would just instantly go in and gave it away. The enemy mid lane or top lane could just flash back to his own tower or dash away or whatever and survive it. this time around the Overpow and Jankos showing the synergy they did have in the mid lane beforehand. There were often a lot of first bloods there. Overpow was just too passive to have any pressure after.
Jankos taking damage, but look at that. Quickly turns it back around and Bebe takes a fair amount of punishment. They know that Pink Ward's is down. They were looking to try and collapse on him, but it's just not working. They're getting countered every step of the way. And ROCCAT are dealing just as much damage back. And, you know, going back into obviously the switch around Overpow now going to the top lane. He was never a standard mid laner. He always used to pull out some random mid champions. And yes, Peke and Froggen did get those farming records against him because he played fairly passively. But actually, playing fairly passively kind of suits the top lane. You know, it is a long farming session often. You know, he's actually going back up towards Mezil. Mezil's going to just bounce away from this one. Should be home free, but he's already got that synergy with his jungler because he's had it from the mid lane.
And that again is one of the reasons this Irelia pick is so important for him, because you can max your stun, you can sit back and farm, take a bit of poke, and then you just dash forward, stun the Gnar when Jankos arrives, and that way you don't even get punished by playing passive. You actually just set up a lot of easy ganks for your jungler. And at the same time, you have your teleport. So you can use that to impact the map where you don't have to do it one-on-one in the lane.
I really feel that if the time goes on like this, ROCCAT's composition gets a lot better though. I want to see what they do around the 20-minute mark mid-game. If they can group up, look at what they have. We already mentioned at the analyst test. Elise Cocoon, Jayce poke, Corki poke, disengage from Nami. I don't see what answers Dolphins are going to have, especially with Pantheon falling behind. Look, he's still level 4 right now, struggling with his buff. At level 7, Jayce is coming in, counter jungling.
The ward is there, Overpow coming in.
Oh god, he's so low already just after that one shot. Jankos could get himself an easy kill there as he comes around. They're going to get the red buff as well, taking absolutely everything they want from the Dolphins.
See, and this is an example of what you don't see in gold count. You look at the CS numbers and you think it's all even, you think these teams are very close, but ROCCAT, they had that deep ward, they're synergized, they're moving, and they're basically predicting Lazagna's every move. They know exactly what he's going to do, they know he's going to go for that red buff, and they just focus him because he's the weak point right now in their armor, and they're just focusing until he crumbles, and then the entire composition of Dolphins just falls apart.
Yeah, no, because also again, get the deep wards here in solo queue. You can't really prevent these plays. You have someone that already warded your red buff and they actually communicate together and move in. As a jungler, you're just standing there alone. You can't stop it. And that's also why ROCCAT can just take full advantage of a team who obviously has no proper communication or synergy together or response to an invade like this here. Just nicely set up by ROCCAT, no risk, and just got the red buff.
Yeah, controlled trade there on the bot lane. I think they're scaling back in with the sustain now. Something impressive though was Ryu. Speaks Korean amongst 4 Polish guys, but he was there for the invade. He was on time, did well, so they found a way to communicate.
Pinging, man.
That's something that we learned. You know, all of the games you just joined, everyone that went to Korea for Worlds, you know, you just have to ping.
Smart,
and literally everyone in solo queue comes to that position.
Yeah, exactly. So they did practice with Ryu for a week now. So obviously they have found a system that works. Okay, if I ping here, you know exactly what to do, or have a few keywords maybe.
He also obviously had the time with Millennium as well, so it's not like he's new to Europe.
So he's learned a few things, of course, and ROCCAT actually said they speak English in the game now, even though they're 4 Polish here, just so Ryu has a chance of at least getting some of it. And overall, it's just super cool to see when they're walking around as a team, because everyone is around Ryu all the time outside of the game. Want to make sure he's feeling okay and give him some confidence again. And he's obviously here to sub. It's his chance to show what he can do, because we haven't seen much from him lately. He needs to shine.
See, I just want to highlight something regarding the vision control. We have 3 pink wards on the left side of the map. We have the Scuttle Crab taken down by Jankos. Jankos level 7 now. Lazagna is just hit 6, so he's a full level, if not a level and a half behind. And ROCCAT is just in complete control of this game. They can't even cross the river right now, and they're attempting Dragon.
It's interesting. I remember, even Mezil's in trouble here. He's not going to get out of this one. Overpower flashes in, gets the kill. Nicely done. Easy stuff.
Yeah, you get the lead, you max your E, you have the sheen, you gotta take these easy, super fast trades where you go in, you land the stun, and then you get a few hits with the true damage, and you just back away.
God.
Xerath in
trouble. He's gonna get hammered, and Ryu gets himself his first kill of the game.
At the same time, ROCCAT was taking down a kill on top. They did Dragon. The Dolphins tried to snipe it with the Xerath Pantheon combo, just realized they couldn't do it, and yeah, they're grasping at straws right now. They're just falling and crumbling.
And I wonder what Lazagna can do at this point, because which lane is he going to gank? Irelia is already so strong in the top lane, she can escape fairly easily. Mid lane, Jayce with the long range, he's not going to get stunned up by the Xerath. And then the bottom lane, well, you have the Corki going to jump away, Nami is going to stay back anyway. Who are you going to gank with this Pantheon here? You might have to just dive someone and try.
It's very hard to play Pantheon if you don't have a primary engage. Pantheon can work work as a primary engage if you're ahead, if you can ulti behind him. But at this point, if he ends up behind ROCCAT, ROCCAT's just going to kill him and then turn on the rest of the Dolphins.
And the fun part is, Gnar is exactly the same. You don't really want to be the main engage because people can see you jumping in towards them and they have to be close to a wall for you to actually lock them down. So in this situation, you have two guys. Nobody wants to be the main engage, but one of them have to do it.
Yeah, and then filled up with the rest of it is 3 poke champions. So it's a little bit of everything, but nothing perfect for the Dolphins comp. Well, if you look at ROCCAT, they thought about this composition from the first pick on. They built it layer by layer, and it came out really great.
Well, they were trying to group something for the bottom. Nar's gone wandering all over the place. You can see he's in the middle half of the jungle right now, completely away from his lane because that's not working out for him. And that is giving Overpow all the free farm. Going back to the communication issues, and I remember distinctly actually while we were in Korea for the World Championships, watching some of the OGN channel, and they had a good piece about communication in different teams. They had I'm trying to think of Uzi's partner, Zero, used to be Zero. Obviously he's just changed teams. Zero was his support. They had him on there talking about how it is in China and how they deal with that. They had Xerath actually from CLG, interestingly, since he's no longer in there. And it was interesting talking about, like, Xerath went there and he said his English was actually okay. He could speak a fair amount of it, but he wasn't prepared for how much they spoke in game, CLG.
Yeah, constantly.
And he was actually saying, like, the difference between obviously Korea and America and obviously I guess Europe to the point is the fact that they were, if they made an incorrect decision, they were arguing about that decision in game. Whereas in Korea, it's like, well, the decision was wrong, it didn't work out, move on. And it was like, that was what he was saying. It's like, I speak English, but holy cow, I don't speak that much English.
Yeah, it's really hard and you get a lot of clutter. Look at this, the Jankos showing up for the gank top.
Well, is he going to catch him out? Jankos takes the tower damage. He can just repel away from this one. Overpow comes in to finish the job. And oh, this actually may feed him another kill here. Lazagna's going to come in for it. Overpow fancies it.
They can kill him. Yeah,
if they juke it well, you can see Overpow's going to take the tower hits. There's the cocoon coming in. The spider comes in. Repels just in time. Oh, he's got to be careful. Will he take a hit? Doesn't matter. Gets out in time. Beautifully duped. Brilliant.
This combo is just so strong. I mean, you have so much CC, you land the point-on-click stun from the Irelia, and of course the Cocoon will never miss them from Jankos unless he is way off target. And then you just take down his Pantheon, who's behind. I mean, he's obviously going for his warrior and champion. He has to, but it's gonna come in so late for him. And once he completes it, he needs to go full tank. If he will ever hit a point where he becomes tanky enough, I don't think he will though.
I really feel for masterwork right here. He had a decent laning phase based, got his sidestone finally. He's like, guys, I'm gonna get that vision on the map. But then if you look at the left side of the map, there's 3 pink wards. In front of that pink ward is a super strong Elise. This guy, there's not much he can do from the bot lane out except for ward a little bit, but Dolphins just can't control the game. Look at where Jankos is. I don't think he's been in his own jungle for the last 5 minutes, perhaps. Yeah, look at it. All the camps are completely spawned, nothing touched. He's just taking everything away from Lazagna. Lazagna's had no look. The bottom lane has been relatively even traded, actually, but it's obviously the focus on the top and mid lane is completely snowballed and it's came out of control. It's something we talked about at the start, you know, how Dolphins of Wall Street, they had nothing to lose coming into this, can do whatever they want. But in the same vein, ROCCAT had all the pressure on them now because everybody is watching them. Everybody wants to see how this new line is performed. A lot of talk coming out of scrims saying they're actually the #1 team in Europe right now, which is a big deal when you got the likes of Alliance coming in now. Of course, Rio only a 10th mid laner. Talks of Nuke Duck and all sorts going into that mid lane. Nothing's been announced officially yet, so we'll find out. Looks like Overpow, though, wants a little bit more blood right now. He comes around. No way Masterwork's getting out of that. Lazagna's in trouble. He gets caught out. Quick double kill for Overpow. And this new top lane, it seems to be working out well for him. He's got 6 kills already. He's going to back away, but I think they're going to turn this. Look at Ryu. He's coming in at the side. Quick bubble catches on towards it. There's the shot flash straight on towards him. Woolite flashes for it. Doesn't quite get it down.
Oh, a few
seconds. No. There's going to be Ryu. Flashes through. Says, I want to be involved in some of this. And now they can't defend this. They have to back away. Yeah, 1 by 1 Dolphins all volunteer as tribute as they stand before a full ROCCAT team. They teleport in. Just have to jump out immediately. Half HP. There's nothing they can do. It's 10-0. Really big gold lead. And ROCCAT's playing really crisp, both in terms of play, vision control, and builds. Deficio finally seeing that sorcerer's shoes on Elise that you've been talking about so much.
Yes, I'm very happy to see an Elise not going for mobility boots or straight up building full tank here. You want to get this early magic penetration. It just you become so strong and more kills. Straight away, Masterwork's going to get hammered and now is going to see the Pantheon drop. Is it enough? Ryu, could he go down? He is! They killed the Korean. A Korean, but they're going to pay the price, I feel, here as Jankos comes in. It is worth. Gets his 7th kill. Hashtag worth in hot chat. Faker did it, Lazagna did it, and that is all that matters.
Faker is literally Lazagna. Oh, Lasagna is literally Faker right now.
Well, I mean, so at this point in the game, there's not a whole lot to say anymore. ROCCAT, you just pointed out, they're so far ahead. The warding has been great. I like the fact they've basically been saying we don't care about the bottom lane because technically the support will always have the bottom lane warded, so we just keep it passive 2v2, and instead we just abuse these solo laners and the jungler. Every time he tries to take a camp, Jankos walks in and just try to kill him.
Seems like a recurring topic in all these matches so far in this tournament. The trio of jungle, top, and mid working together, and bot lanes being relatively equal. Would have liked to see a little more plays, a little more bloodthirst on that lane. Maybe we can see Leona coming out later. Because
Get in there, Krepo.
I will do the job for you. But yeah, Dolphins, they really need to win that bot lane and snowball and release some pressure off the other side of the map, or otherwise this series might be a very quick, crisp 2-0 for ROCCAT.
Well, that dragon's been juked quite simply by Jankos and Woolite. Woolite just left him to it. So that is the second dragon of the game. Easily picked up, and well, ROCCAT in full control. Over 10,000 gold advantage. And we're not even close to the 20-minute mark yet.
I'm a really big fan of the new jungle creep that's been introduced, the Scuttle Crabs over there. I really like the vision control they give. And basically you can hover around an objective, just stand on it and get a speed boost whenever somebody contests. I really like that ROCCAT takes the time to kill them over and over, because that's something you don't see in solo queue. You'll see the support struggling for that Scuttle Crab vision, but nobody cares, you know, only 35 gold.
I'm trying to kill it, man. It's taking me forever. And then you're there 5 minutes later. It's like, I got it. I got it, boys.
I got the vision.
I'm not even sure though why they killed it right now. I mean, it's not like we're gonna see Dolphins ever get close to this Baron, and it's not even spawned yet, so I guess, yeah, they just want to show who's the boss here. Before the wards, I mean, look at the top side of the jungle. Again, you have the ping wards in the river here to basically make sure Dolphins can never move out and like flank behind them or anything, and then you just place these deep wards. They can even start moving the pings further in and just deny all the vision.
But look at what ROCCAT's doing. Any other team so far in this tournament that has gotten ahead of the opponent has been playing sloppy, but they're playing their composition right. Their bot lane is not pushing against them on the tower just yet. They're 4 in mid. Irelia is hammering away at the top tower. They're playing the 4-1 that their comp is designed to do, and they're doing it brilliantly. And I really like that ROCCAT's not slacking. They're not doing any fancy stuff. They're not stat padding, KDA padding. No, they're just closing this game out rather clean. And Pantheon's looking for a Hail Mary.
Well, I mean, he's going to go for it. I'm not too sure if his team's going to be alive by the time he gets there. Does jump in. Actually, they don't turn that way. He's went dead anyway. There's a second. There's a third. Can it be a fourth? They go in. Can they get the ace? Creaton's the one that gets away. But Overpow right now, double CS, 803, an absolute monster in the top lane. And that's why they were leaving him in the top, so nobody can compete with him.
And you can see why it's such a good pick to pick Nami here, because once you see the circle from Pantheon, you have about 1 second before he lands, and you can send out that wave. And you know, whoever's going to back up Pantheon, if he goes first, if he is the primary engage, they're going to be slowed down and they can just turn on the Pantheon. And they did that exactly right.
Yeah, you can do two things. You can even time the bubble when he actually lands down if you know the exact timing of it. So he lands, boom, bubble, and you just kill him instantly. Again, that's why you don't want to be the main engage as the Pantheon. And just Overpow being so fed, that is the reason Jankos goes top lane early on. That's why he maxed the E, so he can set up these easy ganks and completely snowball out of control, so the rest of ROCCAT can just sit back, clean up a few kills, get a tower, and it looks so simple.
Well, clearly a golfing class in difference between teams. Right now we're seeing basically a, oh dear, masterwork caught out in the bubble.
Just a bubble, just a bubble.
Well, they may stun him up here. They're going to try and follow through. Will they get the second kill of the game? No. Instead, you can see Woolite going on for Jankos. Jankos taking very low. He goes down. They get themselves a second kill. But at what cost? You can see Overpow coming in. He wants more. Gets himself one. Bebe flashes away. Overpow not going to chase. But it is 19-2 right now. 20 minutes into this game. Clearly showing one of the top teams in the European LCS versus the actual runners-up for the Russian qualifiers, the CIS qualifiers, because it was Moscow 5, of course, that qualified in first place, but unfortunately for them, they had 3 visa issues.
So it was pretty fun talking to Jankos here before the games. He was a little bit nervous because he told me he really wants to face an NA team. And obviously if they win this one here, they move on to the semi-final. They're going to be facing CLG, which is going to be a fantastic matchup if ROCCAT can take it here. We can really see what the new lineups for the two teams can do. I'm not sure he's too nervous anymore after the way this first game has gone and after he picked up the first blood again, as we always see. And I think he's going to get his match against CLG.
What you want to see is just see them finish it, close it, get it done with. Not like mess around. Yeah, clean,
no messing around. Don't take a bad team fight or take a Baron which gets stolen by Dolphins or whatever. You don't need it at this point. You can use it to bait them out of the base. But Dolphins, they should just sit back, send in Pantheon and say, you know what, sacrifice yourself. If you steal the Baron, great. Otherwise, we're not going to go outside of our base.
Vander has deep wards. He leads into a bubble. Combos it with the ultimate. Masterwork is just trying desperately to get vision, but he just has to step in his own jungle only to get picked off immediately. Dolphins, they're hiding in their base right now. They're basically stalling their execution. There's not much they can do anymore. Pantheon is desperately trying to push out top lane, but they're getting squeezed from every angle, and it's looking very rough for Dolphins.
No, not bad play-by-play there, mate. You should be looking at maybe a job for that. I don't know. I think there's applications out there, mate.
Yeah, I heard some people retired. Got too old for the job.
Yeah,
Excommunicated, please.
Excommunicated, if you don't mind. Well, that's going to be a simple kill right there. That's going to be the top laner, Meziljie, going down. Looks like it's going to be a couple more as Overpow comes on. Lazagna once again taking the rocket from Woolite, and there's another for Overpow. 11-0-4. The tower's going down. They're rolling straight through the mid lane, and this will be indeed game number 1 for ROCCAT, done in very quick style. 22 minutes gone in this best of 3, and no doubt about it, it is ROCCAT that are clear favourites right now.
And the kills.
The Intel Extreme Masters
The kills on Nami. What a great support.
Well, at least he built it.
Yep.
So in this game here, ROCCAT get comfort picks. Every single role gets a comfort pick here. You have a fantastic comp. You know your tactic from the start. It was so simple to see ROCCAT say, okay, we're going to go top lane. Irelia's going to get hit of the Gnar, and we're just going to have him split push in a 1-4, and then we can start sieging up in the mid lane here, and we're doing just fine. There was just nothing Dolphins could do.
Yeah, they basically hit Dolphins in the weak spot. You know, they took down Gnar, they took down Pantheon, that completely just crippled their composition. And at the same time doing that, they buffed the strong points. You want that Irelia to go in first, be that beefy frontline, and just have your poke sitting in the back, just enjoying themselves, throwing out some rockets and some shock blasts.
The weak spot of a Dolphin?
The weak spot?
The Gabber.
The Gabber. They got him straight in the Gabber.
Straight in the chops. So yeah, dominant performance from ROCCAT, no doubt about it. Big smile from Ryu. That's something we never saw back in Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Seems very happy actually with life at ROCCAT. He's obviously, of course, only a temporary substitute, but great performance. Didn't really have to do a great deal, but Overpow in the top lane. Let's talk about him, because him and Jankos, great synergy straight away. The double kill in the top lane early on. And Overpow just looks so comfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a perfect performance from him, from Jankos. Not really much to say. The guy snowballed early on Irelia, and you win the game.
Win the game. That's exactly how you do it.
That's
it is a best of 3. It's not over yet, but it's looking good for ROCCAT. We're going to go towards our analyst desk to take us through that quick stomp.